If you find this exploration of Yugoslavia's complex history insightful, please take a moment to like the video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more engaging content. Yugoslavia, for many, it is a distant memory of a failed nation. For others, a painfully recent part of history. This once unified federation, consisting of 6 neighboring republics, was always marked by complexity. Ethnic and religious tensions were a constant, making it seem more inevitable that a breakup would happen. But was ethnic strife the only factor behind Yugoslavia's collapse? How did these disputes contribute to the dissolution of an entire federation? The division and discord among Yugoslavia's various ethnic groups had long been present. These tensions were not new in the years leading up to the breakup, but they did worsen after World War II. Yugoslavia had previously been known as the Kingdom of Yugoslavia, made up of the Kingdom of Serbia and the states of Slovenes, Croats, and Serbs. This kingdom was briefly transformed into Democratic Federal Yugoslavia, which soon after became the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. During this period, Yugoslavia was formed as a union of Croatia, Serbia, Macedonia, Montenegro, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Slovenia. Even before the republics expanded and incorporated more ethnic groups, significant disunity existed, especially between the Serbs and other ethnic groups, creating a fragile foundation from the beginning. While nationalism remained a persistent issue, there was a brief period of relative harmony under President Josip Broz Tito. Tito was a strong advocate for unity and brotherhood, and his efforts to suppress the dangerous nationalism within the federation were impressively successful for a time. Moreover, during Tito's presidency, Yugoslavia emerged as a regionally powerful nation, both economically and industrially. It appeared as though the federation's troubles were behind it, until Tito's death. Leading up to his death, the growing economy began to disproportionately benefit certain regions of the federation. While Tito had always championed brotherhood, he may have stretched himself too far in promoting the right of the individual republics to national self-determination. The end of Tito's leadership coincided with a period of economic struggles for the entire federation. Yugoslavia became heavily indebted following the 1973 oil crisis and the rise of trade barriers with the West, quickly undoing the economic progress the federation had once achieved. This economic downturn worsened ethnic divisions, particularly between the sovereign regions, seen as largely unproductive and underdeveloped, in Slovenia and Croatia. With these new challenges, along with the loss of a president who had worked tirelessly to preserve unity, ethnic divisions became the focal point of Yugoslavia's troubles. A significant reason for this was the failure to establish clear ethnic boundaries for the republics, resulting in a mix of different groups within each border, often inflaming nationalist fervor. Further complicating the situation were 2 autonomous provinces within Serbia, Kosovo and Vojvodina. When protests erupted in the late 1980s, ethnic Serbs in Serbia and these provinces resisted the growing Albanians' majority in Kosovo. Many anticipated that Serbia's communist leader, Slobodan Milosevic, would promote unity. Instead, he stoked Serb anger towards the Albanians and began advocating for reducing the autonomy of both Kosovo and Vojvodina. In the end, after a series of protests called the Rallies of Truth, Milosevic's supporters managed to overthrow the governments of both autonomous provinces, allowing his allies to take control. In 1989, Montenegro leadership also fell in a second coup, with yet another Milosevic loyalist rising to power. This marked only the beginning. Tensions between Serbs and Albanians were intensifying, and soon Croatia and Slovenia became embroiled in Kosovo conflict, siding with the Albanian majority, a move that infuriated the Serbs. Protests escalated and both police and military forces were called in to respond to what the Serbs saw as a direct threat to Serbia and the unity of Yugoslavia, particularly in light of Kosovo's push to become the Federation's 7th republic. In 1989, Bosnian politician and then President of Yugoslavia, Raif Dysdarek, made an attempt to ease tensions with an impassioned speech to the Serbian protesters. "Our fathers gave their lives to build Yugoslavia. We will not take the path of national conflict. We must choose brotherhood and unity," he declared. Though his words were met with some approval from the crowd, they ultimately failed to calm the unrest, largely because the Serbs viewed the actions of Kosovo Albanians as the real cause of the conflict. The lines were now clearly drawn. The Serbs found themselves facing not only Albanians but also Croats, Slovenians, and even some leaders from Bosnia and Herzegovina. The conflict was far from over. As the republics attempted to find political solution to their disputes, the divisions only deepened. Eventually, Yugoslavia was forced to adopt a multi-party system across all 6 republics. This was a significant blow to the communists, who were mostly swept from power by the time the 1990 elections concluded. The collapse of communism reflected the broader dissolution of the Soviet Union and its satellite states, further igniting nationalist sentiments throughout Yugoslavia. Ethnic tensions grew, particularly in republics with sizable minority populations, such as the 12.2% of Serbs living in Croatia, who now felt threatened by their homeland's stance against their ethnic identity. Croatia's new leader, Franjo Tuđman, promised to defend Croatians from what was seen as a Serbian threat posed by the Milosevic, triggering a strong response from ethnic Serbs within Croatia. These Serbs organized a separatist group called SAO, Krajina, demanding reunification with Serbia if Croatia chose to leave the federation. This sparked the infamous Log Revolution, during which Serbs in Croatia attempted to take control of the Serbian majority town of Kenin and sought help from the federal military. When Croatian helicopters carrying armed special forces were dispatched to crush the rebellion, the Yugoslav Air Force stepped in, threatening to shoot down the helicopters if they didn't turn back. The Croatian forces, facing this ultimatum, compiled and returned to their base in Zagreb. As tensions escalated, the Yugoslav wars broke out in 1991, engulfing the entire federation in conflict. By now, the dissolution of Yugoslavia seemed inevitable, and Serbia's efforts, along with those of its allies, to hold the union together were increasingly in vain. In June of that year, both Slovenia and Croatia officially declared independence, despite resistance from other republics. Although the Berijani Agreement delayed their independence by 3 months, it could not prevent the inevitability. Macedonia followed, declaring its own independence in September of that same year. On January 9, 1992, the Republics of Serbian People of Bosnia and Herzegovina was proclaimed, and by March 3rd, Bosnia and Herzegovina itself declared independence. Not long after, the Serbian Republic within Bosnia was officially established. Serbian forces then laid siege to Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia, marking the beginning of a new and brutal phase in Yugoslav wars. By this time, what was once a federation of 6 republics had been reduced to just Serbia and Montenegro. Yugoslavia was rapidly falling apart, with little chance of recovery. Alongside ethnic conflict and intensifying warfare, the collapse of communism and the crumbling Yugoslav economy further accelerated the federation's decline. However, none of these factors seemed as pivotal as the ethnic divide, which was the driving force behind the chaos tearing apart the Union. Ultimately, this deep ethnic strife was the principal cause of Yugoslavia's official dissolution, leaving only Serbia and Montenegro by February 4, 2003. The federation was replaced by the State Union of Serbia and Montenegro, but this new entity proved no more stable or variable than the federation before it ultimately dissolving on June 3, 2006. As for the ongoing conflict with Kosovo, its autonomy and the quest for recognition as an independent nation remain continuous on the international stage. While many countries, including the United States, recognize Kosovo as a sovereign state, Serbia and its allies staunchly reject this claim, highlighting that ethnic conflicts did not vanish with the fall of Yugoslavia. The wars and disputes made the idea of a unified federation in the Balkans nearly impossible. Each nation possessed a strong sense of national identity, and its inability to create clear borders between ethnic groups became an insurmountable challenge for Yugoslavia. Though political and economic crises sped up the collapse, it was ultimately the profound ethnic divisions and the lack of true unity that caused Yugoslavia disintegration from within.